la la la. I love Adopt Me. I love my pets.
Huh? Who is that? What? What is that? Huh? Oh God. Hello? Forgotten Memories is a Five Nights at Freddy's Roblox fan game made by the group CUBIX Games. I noticed a lot of when it came out there was so much attention towards the game and the hard work that's been put in and the overall enjoyment of the game and the detail they put in. This game was, back then, one of the best FNAF fan games made, right next to games like FNAF Co-op. The instructions were easy: survive till 6 AM. If the power goes out, turn it back on. And then with the releases of the new mode, Memory Lane, you run, you escape, you do tasks like an Outlast Trials type of game. The creativity of CUBIX Games is an understatement of how hard they worked and how genuinely impressive their game was, considering it was a Roblox FNAF game. At the time of its peak, it had so much online attention and thousands of players playing it. But today I'm here to talk about the upsetting downfall of one of my favourite FNAF games. But first, let's go on to something a bit more positive. Chapter 1 released with 6 nights, there being a night 1 to 5 and then a custom night. Within these nights there were all custom badges like beating 420 mode, beating the nights on nightmare mode, and even a few hidden Easter eggs which were genuinely really fun to find and hunt for. But beside all of that, story mode having an enjoyable storyline, making some really enjoyable cutscenes, which once again, back then, for FNAF Roblox game, this was incredible. This was giving me the Joy of Creation vibes when that first came out. It felt like something people worked so hard on. The more releases that would come out from these games would just be amazing. After that, another 2 modes were released: Memory Lane Basement and Memory Lane Pizzeria. These 2 once again were like Outlast Trials games where you'd have to do generators and escape from the 2 animatronics in both the maps. These 2 modes here, the story mode and the Memory Lane mode, were some of the most enjoyable times as a FNAF fan on Roblox, and there was no games that even come close to it at the time in my opinion. Overall, this was some of the most enjoyable times I had on this game. The badge hunting was fun, the difficulty was fun, the loops were fun. There was so much to do, the gameplay mechanics were fun, and it genuinely was difficult to get 420 mode without a full party. This game was one of the best to do it at the time, and you could definitely say it inspired games like Eternal Nights. Games with similar gameplay mechanics, but Eternal Nights made, I'll say it, a much better game. Regardless, you can't take away the nostalgia bonus from Chapter 1 of Forgotten Memories. Now, this is as positive as I'm gonna go in this one, because once again there was no issues with it, no bugs which were a massive issue, genuine enjoyment and horror factors, and genuine things that caught me off guard at times. You could say the effort and passion they put into this was so much better than anything I've ever seen on a Roblox FNAF game. But now, we will move on to my main issue with this game. Forgotten Memories released Chapter 2 of Story Mode. After multiple delays, it was finally here. And immediately we see a new lobby, which, I won't lie to you, it's not as exciting. The old lobby had great decals, had great looks to everything, but this just didn't. The old map had so much good detail around it, and genuinely it was so enjoyable to just explore at times and walk around. And now we've been put in just an enclosed little chamber where there's not a lot you can really do apart from look at the leaderboard, how much people have donated, and of course the creators of the game trying to convince you to join their group for money. We'll move on to the money later, but I will point out that they offer 10,000 at the start for joining the group. Now, obviously this update was exciting. This was what everyone was looking for in a FNAF game. We move on to the Chapter 2 mode, which once again at the time only had the 3 nights. The first one with Freddy, the second one with Bonnie, and the third one with Chica. In the vents there was Mangle who would crawl around, and it was genuinely a really good horror factor. I'd say that night 1 to 3 wasn't too bad. I'd say nights 1 to 3 wasn't bad at all. Sure, I feel like the cutscenes had a little less effort put into them. I genuinely think Chapter 2's gameplay is better than Forgotten Memories Chapter 1. I might have a bias towards toy animatronics, but I genuinely think the amount of things you have to do in that night, increasing the difficulty compared to Chapter 1, where if you had a full group of 4, you could just all sit in different spots where you couldn't die. As to where this new map is absolutely giant, you need to get used to it, you need to enjoy it. I'm recording this footage as I'm talking, and Chica's levitating and Bonnie's feet are clipping through the floor. I thought the bugs would be fixed, but clearly not. But anyway, the genuine size of the map, the detail put into it, it was genuinely so impressive. You thought that this was going to be the next big thing. But of course, with every good release, there is issues. As I've mentioned before, there's bugs. Bugs which made the game unplayable at times. Bugs that wouldn't let you finish the night. Bugs that wouldn't let you enter certain suits. And bugs which overall made people begin to hate the game, complain in the server about it. Not to mention before there was old posters. I will point out when it was first released, there was AI generated cardboard cutouts, which they seem to have removed now because of obvious backlash. There was bugs which would make animatronics almost impossible to deal with, or just make them completely useless. But once again, I think every new game gets bugs, but this was almost like next level bad. Not to mention the amount of times they say, oh, we fixed it, and they haven't. They really didn't. It was the same thing. But as I mentioned, this game genuinely had good design. There was vents you'd have to go through, there was puzzles where you'd have to fix things. It was all genuinely really enjoyable. And I don't think anyone can disagree with that. I think the main issue was the multiple delays that were keeping people like me awake. At first the game was releasing at midnight, and then it was releasing to 3 to 4 AM. And since I've been waiting that long, I've been waiting another hour, I didn't want to wait, I didn't want to just go to bed. Also to mention with the bugs, there was a bug where if you'd quit the game and rejoin it at a certain time, for some reason it would give you millions in the bank. I don't know actually if they've patched it or not, but the fact that was a change, I don't know why they did it. Maybe it was for developers to get money quick because they felt lazy. But overall it was genuinely such like a disappointing factor. And I really wish that they were more considerate with the changes they were doing. But once again, I really didn't think... I think now it's still not the best working, but as to design of the map and the gameplay, I genuinely think the mechanics are fun, the map's well designed, and overall I'd say this was a good update. It could have been better, but overall it was such a good twist to the FNAF 2 map. I genuinely don't have any issues with it. This, however, is where it gets a lot worse, I'll be honest. Less than a week ago, Chapter 2's final 3 nights came out. Those final 3 nights being in a completely different location because of a cutscene we saw towards the end of Night 3 in Chapter 2. Now this update, I cannot say anything positive about. I personally think this update was once again insanely rushed for the fanbase. And the mechanics are completely dreadful. To begin with, we start in an office, but we never stay in for the rest of the game, due to the main reason that the audio laws on the cameras either don't work well enough or they don't work at all. Also, there just being zero need to stay in the office because there's nothing we need to maintain in the office that's an issue. There's still suits all around the map of night 4, 5, and 6, so we can hide from the animatronics finally. A lot of the time, we just want to maintain the stability and the power, which is on the opposite side of the map to the office. The animatronics have been rumoured to be stolen from people. There's only 2 mechanics that we have to watch out for, and that was being for power and the stability of the pizza place. Which, once again, I'll point out, here they are. They're both on the opposite side of the office. There's another thing I want to point out with the stability bar. You can just run. You can run into a suit and then do the mini-game. I don't know who even thought that was a good idea. You can do the stability while being nowhere near the stability at times, and it seems just completely pointless. The map, once again, just seems boring, choppy. It seems like they've rushed it. The animatronics were buggy. Chica hops on 1 leg even though her animation shows her walking on 2. I wish I could say anything positive about this, but I can't. All the animatronics have set paths. That means they'll head to the office, the opposite side of the map, even if no one's there. Which can inconvenience to if you die, you just get straight up spawn camped by one of the other animatronics. Not to mention, I'm assuming they just took this straight out of Eternal Nights. They made it so Foxy can open the office door. Now, one thing I want to point out is Foxy is incredibly fast. There's zero need for him to be able to do that. He's already got his gimmick. As to where Chica, Bonnie and Freddy don't have any different gimmicks to themselves. They've made Foxy fast and that he can open doors. I mean, I think it's just stupid. There's zero reason for them to do this at all, yet they've chose to do it. There was so much more that they could have done with FNAF 4, 5 and 6 with just keeping the same map. They could have put the withered animatronics in. There was no need to put us down to this basement where I'm assuming those are the new withereds. It's terrible though. And also, since they're so broken down, why are they faster? They're faster than the Chapter 1 animatronics who are fully working. Chica's only got 1 leg, yet she's faster than her old version. Not to mention, winning is completely underwhelming since you just sit there. You sit in the same spot, sitting in a suit, then doing the power, then doing the stability, then back to the suit. And it's a loop like that which makes you think, what's the point of me playing this game? Not to mention they haven't released the badges, so for people who want all the badges in the game, they'll have to go back and beat it. Surely it's common sense to a developer to release everything once it's ready. But no, for some reason CUBIX want to spout out whatever they can spout out and hope people will enjoy it. Which no one has. I will point out one thing. I'm in the Discord at CUBIX and no one likes the update. Everyone complains about the bugs, how it feels rushed, how there's no reason for this entirely new level to exist, it just does. They could have played so much more gameplay mechanics of a FNAF 2 location and we wouldn't be in this issue right now. Overall, I'm just feeling like it's become less of a passion project and more of just rush what we can and people will donate us Robux. And overall, I'm just really disappointed with the game. I feel like they could have done so much better because I've seen so much better from them before. The first ever things they released were better than what they've released right now. Overall, I just hope that they genuinely take their time. I've noticed now it says June 1st instead of March 15th. Which, if you feel like it's not ready to release, don't make this notification thing. They're putting events on, which is putting pressure on themselves to spit out stuff as fast as they can. Because let's be honest, your game isn't very concurrent at the minute. It's nowhere near as popular as it was. You have time to make things better. Get one big release and then wait a while for the next one. They plan to release, I believe, 2 more chapters of the story mode. But who's going to play it if it's anything like Chapter 2 was? Once again, this is one of my favourite FNAF games on Roblox. I hope that they do better. But when they keep rushing projects like this, getting a lot of distrust from the fanbase, what are people going to expect? I genuinely hope the best for CUBIX, and I hate people who give them genuine hate. You shouldn't be giving hate to Roblox developers of all people. Sure, the update's not what you wanted. Sure, you're allowed to criticise it. But sending hate and threats to developers is just a whole different story where it's completely wrong. I'd recommend if you have an issue with any game, that you criticise it. Criticise the game, criticise what you don't like about it, point out any bugs. Just don't send hate to these developers who are trying their best. I'd say trying their best for Forgotten Memories about Chapter 1. I'm not saying it about Chapter 2, by the way. I feel like Chapter 2, mainly the last bit of it, was insanely rushed, and they just felt like, we'll get this done so we can move on to better things. Which you don't want to do if you want to release another 2 chapters. You can't rush it and get done, because that'll make people think, he'll just rush Chapter 3 now. My overall advice to CUBIX, if they were to see it, I entirely doubt it, but if they do, take your time. This isn't a race, you're not in a rush, make what you think will be good, and take your time to make sure there's no bugs, make sure there's time to make sure the mechanics are fun, it's playable. Don't rush out things for the sake of rushing them out. Maybe people in your Discord server saying, I can't wait for release. But at the end of the day, they have to if they want it to be something good. There's a reason I was looking so forward to Asylum mode, yet I'm not rushing, I'm not screaming for you to rush the project. Because rush projects don't end out well. I hope nothing but the best for Forgotten Memories. I just hope that they take their time with this project. And I hope this video can somewhat be a message if the video gets big enough. I mean this more than anything, if you're a Forgotten Memories fan, please show this to your other friends. Please recommend it to other people. Besides that, it's been me. I really wanted to get this off my chest because I genuinely love this game. It's not like Forsaken where, I'll just complain about the game because I'm very unbiased with the game. This is a game I genuinely hold so close to me because of the FNAF Roblox community. And this game has inspired so many other games. I want them to keep doing it. Thank you all though so much for watching, it's been me. I really hope you agree with this video. And I just hope Forgotten Memories do a lot better with the upcoming Asylum mode. I've just been speaking with, I believe these are developers and just mods. The developers should be the golden name there. Yeah, they've been talking recently and I've been speaking to them about it. And obviously they're fixing it as they speak, stuff like this. And I've genuinely had a proper talk with them, giving them some advice, take your time with the game, stuff like that, because hey, I'm not saying it for no reason, I do care about this game a lot. But yeah, I'm hoping they do it well. So, and also I'm just, the main thing I'm saying is take your time and stuff like this and don't send anyone hate. They've been saying a few things like this game's got the same problem Security Breach had. I'm guessing what they mean by that is just they've released it and it's really buggy and once again, they're probably going to learn off that, let's be honest. And even now, a lot of the modes don't work. But there is, genuine hope, you know. There's people saying, let me just find it. Here we go. Fixing it as we speak. Stuff like this. They're clearly care. I've spoken enough in this server to know that the people care. I'm hoping now we see the better side of Forgotten Memories when Asylum mode comes out. I have so much hope, just after this talk. And I know my video was negative, really negative, but that's what you need to do towards these games. And then you can go from a negative and hopefully now we'll have a positive video to make in the future. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy. I have a lot of hope for this game and I wish them nothing but the best. And yeah.